UFO Best Evidence. Nowhere in the world is safe from UFOs. Brantford, Connecticut, Tucson, Arizona, Topeka, Kansas, Gulf Breeze, Florida, Kanazawa, Japan, Ontario, Canada. UFOs captured on Carp, Ontario. Another disc, much closer, and this time on the ground. The object was photographed behind this house.
On my property, I've seen lots of bright flames. They were not like spreading fires. There were more individual flames going extremely high and a lot of smoke. I saw this bright light. Right on top of it was like a beak, and it was blue light pulsing, and it had a light right on the bottom and a light right in the middle of it. And I seen a ship just coming down over the tree and going very closer to the flames. That night was a very traumatic night for me. I can always remember that night. It will never be forgotten.
I looked out the back window, and in the sky was a great golden globe. The only thing that came to mind quickly was that it was lightning, but I'd never seen lightning in a circular form.
There was one specific area, a circular pattern really, where all of the plant life had been exposed to some form of radiation, and by that I mean it just kind of melted. Real healthy bushes just melted to the ground.
You can see some indication that there's a solid craft there that you can see the top of and also see something underneath.
Real eyewitness evidence. The Roswell UFO crash.
We just don't have the technology to produce material like I brought in from that ranch.
The eyewitness who says he came face to face with an alien.
My dad was kind of right about here, and he was talking to this creature.
The extraterrestrial autopsies at a top secret base.
One of the most interesting discoveries, I think, has to be the alleged alien jawbone that we uncovered.
The military's own evidence of UFOs. Radar tracks unknown objects.
That's those three little dots out there, and I'll say that there are 3 definite objects.
I know it was not an aircraft. I know it was not a helicopter. I know it was not a weather balloon.
The craft that somehow intruded into secure military airspace.
It seemed to move in whichever direction it wanted to go whenever it wanted to, contrary to any aircraft that I've seen in the past.
Footage of rare daytime UFOs.
Every time we get a new tape and we find some new kind of object in there.
Roswell, New Mexico. Local headlines announced shocking news. The Army Air Force reported they had captured a flying saucer. Debris was found on a nearby ranch in Corona.
This building here, building number 84, is a building I believe that they brought materials from the Corona.
Major Jesse Marcel Sr., the base's chief intelligence officer, recovered the wreckage and took it to headquarters. But when papers published the news of the UFO crash, the military changed its story. The second press release stated the wreckage came from a weather balloon. Somehow, one of the most significant UFO sightings became an ordinary weather balloon. Some experts feel Brigadier General Roger Ramey, the base commander, ordered a massive cover-up. Right before Marcel died, he allegedly told Walter Haut the truth. The weather balloon story was a lie. An alien spacecraft really did crash near Roswell.
When I first came up to the craft, the creatures were laying like this in a line, side by side. And the live one was over here.
When he was 5 years old, Gerald Anderson says he came face to face with an extraterrestrial. He describes the aliens as 4 feet tall, with gray skin, large eyes, and thin arms. 2 of them were dead. one was dying, but one was still alive, trying to communicate.
Then just suddenly he turned and he looked at me. And when that happened, all kinds of things just started happening inside my head. I started getting sensations of tumbling and falling and an awful loneliness, like there was no way he could possibly get back to where he came from.
Witnesses say the military soon showed up and threatened any civilian who went public with the amazing story. But now, many of them are speaking out. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where ufologists believe the military took the Roswell crash debris.
Well, recently we investigated the rumors about Hangar 18 and in particular the Roswell connection to Wright-Pat.
The military claimed they brought a crashed weather balloon to Wright-Patterson.
What happened to it? We couldn't find any record of that. We found that was sort of interesting.
Experts maintained that the crash wreckage was stored in the base's secret tunnels, the exact spot where Officer Jack Donahoe claimed he saw an alien autopsy. It wasn't human.
There was a stainless steel table in this room that was arranged a little bit like a laboratory. The man said, "Look at this." Jack looked at the body. Jack told me that at the time they were doing full autopsies on the bodies. The head was shaped basically like a human head, only it was small. He said, "We better not spend very much time here," and they left the room. I tried to bring it up at a later date. He said, "Forget him. Just forget about the whole incident."
Field.
They had 30 alien bodies underground at Wright-Patterson's field alone.
Witnesses state that scientists performed anatomical research on the aliens for years. Unexplained mysteries. Excellent evidence of UFOs comes from a surprising source. Declassified tapes of Air Force transmissions tracking unknown objects.
Roger, shooting approximately, there was approximately 5 to 7 objects.
This is the actual recording of an Edwards Air Force Base radar man who sees strange aircraft on his screen.
Those 3 little dots out there, and I'll say that there are 3 definite objects. It's not weather, it's not definite objects. It's not weather, it's not clutter.
Edwards Air Force Base was on alert for any sign of Soviet aircraft or missiles. What they found was startling. Possibly as many as 12 unidentified craft flying very high and very fast. Also on the tapes is proof that the airbase had a UFO officer. Surprising after years of denying the existence of UFOs.
Okay, they've finally gotten that UFO officer at Edwards out of that, and he said yes, he would like to have a look. We're getting plenty of live data as those visuals on these things about 40 miles south of Edwards, several of them.
I know it was not an aircraft. I know it was not a helicopter. I know it was not a weather balloon. I know a lot of things it was not. It was not anything that we know of as a flying object that could do the maneuvers that this did. And what it was, I do not know.
When he saw the objects on his screen, here, he informed his superiors. They immediately ordered an F-106 alert bird to check it out.
Edwards, do you still have any of these UFOs in sight? Yes. Okay, Tower, pick out one you want to intercept, and we'll take a 0-1 in on him.
But one of the Air Force's most advanced planes could not catch the object.
The thing is rising. Tower, how's things look now? He's low. Look, search high, search high. It doesn't search high. Search very high. The thing is rising. It's rising rapidly.
Sorrells watched helplessly as the UFO was getting away. Nellis Air Force Base has been the scene of other credible sightings. What kind of craft could trespass onto a highly secure airbase? The object seemed to be more advanced than anything in the military's arsenal.
This craft shows up, and it's like they're playing with kids. It's like, do whatever they want and buy now. That's scary. It seemed to move in whichever direction it wanted to go whenever it wanted to, contrary to any aircraft that I've seen in the past.
In my first look at that tape, I said, wow. And I continue to say, wow. There are only three things that could be on that tape. One is a very elaborate and very expensive hoax. I don't think that's what we're seeing. The second is some kind of a black project, a secret project that has some very unusual aerodynamic characteristics. And the third, if you can eliminate all those aerodynamic answers, could be a true unknown. And if that is an unknown, if you can come to that conclusion, you've got a pretty interesting piece of history right there.
The video appears to be genuine. It almost appears to be like spherical in the center and with an appendage on the bottom and on the top. You don't see any evidence of rotors.
No. And also the startling thing is it seems to change shape.
A frame-by-frame analysis reveals the changes the object's shape goes through.
The physical profile of the object changes almost frame to frame, and sometimes it appears almost to be a fuzzy, gassy cloud. In some portions of the video, it appears to be several spherical objects.
The superior technology intimidates seasoned professionals.